On the 6th of June 1944, some 156,000 men stormed a blood-soaked beach in France, looking to defeat evil. As they left their landing craft, one soldier described it like this. When we got within 1,000 yards of the beach, you could hear the machine gun bullets hitting off the front ramp of the boat. The ramp went down and we were in water over our heads. Some of the men drowned, some got hit by bullets. The boat next to ours blew up. Some of those men caught fire. We never saw them again. That is a quote from Sergeant Ray Lambert, a medic with the 1st Infantry Division who was a part of the D-Day landing. Only 80 years ago, that was bravery. But now that has changed forever. You see, the toughest, the bravest, the most real men of all time are millionaires who wear dresses. Now, does anyone actually give a fuck that Harry Styles wore a dress last year? No. No one gives a flying fuck. I'll tell you who did care. That was the mainstream media. They collectively came in their pants. I don't know what that is, but came in their pants. Finally, a man was brave enough to put a dress on. Obviously, the people in the mainstream media have never watched Braveheart, a fantastic fucking movie, kilts for life. But first, ladies and gentlemen, this video is brought to you by Crush Organics, the finest purveyors of quality CBD oil this side of the Mississippi. Crush Organics has 3 signature oil: the Peppermint Day for morning use, the Carver Infused CBD for nighttime, and the Platinum CBD for everyday use. They also have this premium pain cream. Now, the way I use this is I rub it onto those sore muscles after a big old workout. In fact, the Buttsman went for a run the other day, completely buggered his knee up, and after I used this, I didn't want to chop it off, so it's not bad at all. If you've never tried CBD oil before, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's amazing for relaxation, concentration. I've used it for a long time. All products from Crush Organics are third-party tested, and they're all under that 0.03 THC threshold. Oh, and did I mention that worldwide shipping is available? It's too good to be true. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the signature CBD box means you get to try absolutely everything in the CBD collection at Crush in your daily routine. There's more and more products coming online every single month, so make sure you go and check out all their socials, and you'll get to see some amazing giveaways, discounts, and more. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you use the code 21BUTTER, you will get 40% off your order. Yes, you heard that right. So go and check out the link below and go and support those who support us. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the video. What it means to be a man is now more blurred than ever. And in some respects, I think that's a fantastic thing. For example, if you are a very gay man, I think you should be considered just as much as a man as some bricky's labourer who's just thrown his fucking paycheck into the pokies. Like, I think that is genuinely true, and I think most of the people in the world who are not pieces of shit hold that value within them. But where the line blurs negatively is the idea, the concept that masculinity is inherently evil. Many people on Twitter with the old blue check mark believe this wholeheartedly and demand that we must change fucking now. Change men into a mold that they set, and finally we can be free of the misogynistic, evil, vile pigs that all men are, unless they follow a particular doctrine. And blokes cop this on a daily basis, and I'm not saying that us men are fucking victims. None of us want to have that victimhood label that the same people on Twitter with the blue check marks so aggressively desire. But hearing every day that your gender makes you a bad person, I think for myself, it doesn't really affect me, but for young dudes, I think it definitely affects them. And just a quick little interruption. Ladies and gentlemen, can I just say this? Men, all men, are completely just amazing, intelligent, incredible parts of the human species. And this is video evidence of that.
Oh yeah. So you just got cash there, mate. It's not an Airpods card.
Eh?
Just cash.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Yeah, just pass me the 50. Thanks, mate.
The idea that men are inherently evil has been pushed by some big corporations over the past couple of years. Take Gillette, for example. I don't think many people would forget this ad. That video has over 36 million views. That's a lot of young men sitting there thinking, fuck, what did we do wrong? I was just born with a cock and balls. And perhaps even more disastrous, young women sitting there watching that thinking, yeah, men are the problem. We should be fearful of men. All men need to change. I think that is absolutely reprehensible from a large corporation to do that just to sell more fucking razors, you fucks. But it doesn't just stop there. You see, with the corporate world now jumping on board with this whole attitude of men are evil, it leaves a lot of young mothers, old mothers, middle-aged mothers sitting there thinking and worrying about the future for their boys. It leaves a lot of fathers sitting there thinking, what can they do to help protect their sons from a world that hates them? And with that, my next point, the idea of toxic masculinity.
Think Batman, for example. He's intelligent, self-sacrificing, and dedicated to justice. Great. But some of his behavior is toxic. His aggression, emotional detachment, and misogynistic control over women are all forms of toxic masculinity.
No one is safe from the label of toxic masculinity. Not even a crime-fighting superhero. Fucking Batman. Come on. This lady is something fucking special. Hang on a second. Did you see what I did there? I used a condescending tone against a female reporter, if you will. Now, if I said that about a male reporter, no one would give a shit. But because I said it about a lady, and apparently ladies can't handle criticism, what I just said about her was another example of toxic masculinity. When I said something special, that's oppressive. That's another example of toxic masculinity. I think these words, these phrases, these definitions that people have just made up in the last few years are, to use an Australian term, fucking bullshit, mate. People who use phrases like toxic masculinity are really just saying that a man did something or said something that they don't agree with. That's all they're saying. So what are we going to do? How are we going to fix these penis-having people? Well, maybe you fucking cockhavers should do something like become more like Australian comedian Hannah Gadsby. This is from an article called Why Men Should Be More Ladylike, according to Hannah Gadsby. My advice on modern masculinity would be to look at all those traits you believe are feminine and interrogate why you're so obsessed with being the opposite. Don't know who's obsessed with that. Anyway, because this idea that to be a man, you have to be the furthest away from being a woman that you possibly can is really weird. See, this is where I get shitty with this thought process. Hannah's reinforcing this narrative that to be a man, you have to not be anything like women. And I just don't think that's true. I don't think many modern men are like that. Sure, maybe in the 40s and the 50s, this stoic mindset from men, maybe back then they were terrified of doing anything feminine. But now, I don't think that could be further from the truth. In fact, most men, good men anyway, they share a healthy balance of the masculine and the feminine. Me, for example, this is my rescue greyhound Rosie, and I love her to bits. I treat her like a little daughter. I run around and make sure she's okay. I freak out when she walks in the room like, hello darling, how are you? Oh my God, what are you doing? And she wags her little tail and it's the greatest fucking experience ever. You should rescue a greyhound. I buy her clothes for winter, even though she hates wearing clothes. Do you see my point? My partner and I, we share the household duties. In fact, I cook most nights. When we have children, I'll be changing nappies, slinging shit around the rooms. I'll be having a grand old time. Does that make me any less of a man? Of course fucking not. Obviously I have the greatest beard on earth, so I can grow a big old clitoris and still be more of a man than fucking you. Being a masculine man is fine, it's great, it's wonderful. Being a man's man, that's cool, whatever you want to do. But you have to have a healthy balance and you have to be a good person. And I think this is where Hannah gets it completely wrong. She is suggesting that all men need to be painted with this same brush, and if I had done that to something that she holds dearly, her sexual orientation, I would be called a bigot until the end of time. Why is everyone so scared of not being masculine? If you consider many of those in power who claim to be leading the world at the moment, you've got a lot of hyper-masculine man babies with terrible hair and no ability to compromise. These are the cool guys who are taking us all to hell in a handbasket that they didn't pay for, whatever the fuck that means. So here's a thought experiment. What if you, the men, looked to the traditional feminine traits and tried to incorporate them into your masculinity? I completely agree with that. Nothing wrong with that. I think you should do that. Women are always being encouraged to stir masculine traits into their feminine recipe. We're told to be bolder, speak up in meetings, exaggerate your skills, all that lean in sort of crap. Crap! Are you suggesting that things like be bolder, speak up in meetings is crap? Do you want there to be parity between the pay gap? Do you want there to be more women in CEO positions? Well, how about you shut the fuck up, Hannah, and use your platform to encourage women rather than telling them to be silent, which is fucking weird. So perhaps it's time for you, the men, to be more ladylike. How about you scale back on your confidence? How about you try not to act in every situation? Yeah, especially you firefighters who keep running into buildings saving people. You confident pieces of shit. How about you try pretending that you're the least powerful person in the room, and no matter how hard you work, you'll never be the most powerful. Walk around like that for a couple of weeks and then call your mother. That is the fucking weirdest piece of advice, and the worst piece of advice, and the strangest fucking article I've ever read. How's this, Hannah? How's this, alright? Fuck you to the moon! Yeah. Being evil, being dangerous, murdering people, attacking people is not something that is defined by what you have between your legs. It has never been segregated by sex, and it has always been spread throughout the human species like a disease. It does not care what sex you are. Masculinity is something that's not taught to people. It may be enhanced, good or bad, by society and culture, but it is not taught. Masculinity itself has been built into our DNA over hundreds of thousands of years. You cannot change it. And you know what? Thank fuck the amount of whinging, whining activists cannot change the fact that masculinity exists. Otherwise, we would be in all sorts if we had to go and perform another D-Day. If we had to storm Normandy in 50 years' time, we would be absolutely fucked without masculine men. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Keep it moist, and I'll see you all very soon. Toodaloo, bye.